Hey guys, it's Andre from the High Performance Academy. We're here with Randy from D&Z Customs to have a chat to him about this amazing Camaro. Now, Randy, it's a beautiful looking car. Can you tell me, it's obviously packing some serious power as well. Can you tell me for a start, let's look at the engine combination. What have you got in there?
What we have is we started out with a LS7 based engine, Wagner Automotive back home by me in Wisconsin. Put the car together. We stroked the engine from being a normal 427 to a 441 using a Cali's crank and rods. We got Wiseco pistons in there. We're using a RHS LS7 based heads with titanium valves, custom ground comp cam, and valve springs and lifters. We've got a fast 102 intake on it, and we're using a 90 millimeter throttle body right now just for drivability response. For oiling system, instead of using the traditional GM LS7 based oiling, we've got a daily dry sump pan, billet pan with a separate two-stage pump on it. Really improves it.
Let me just talk a little bit about that dry sump system, because the factory LS7 runs a type of dry sump system, and you've gone away from that and gone to the daily engineering system. Why did you do that?
Mainly because I built this car with the intention of doing a lot of track day stuff. That's what I like, I enjoy. And going with the aftermarket dry sump is just a step above. I mean, the GM setup is great, but when you're really hammering through those carousels and doing a lot of track days, the factory just doesn't keep up with what's needed for the oiling demands on this. You're talking high RPMs, a lot of lateral loads, so going with the daily dry sump system, it just made total sense, and it's a beautiful piece.
Now, talking about RPM, it's quite a big capacity engine. Now, what sort of RPM is it actually running to?
It's got capabilities of running all the way up to 7,500 RPM.
Wow, that's some serious RPM. What compression ratio is it running?
It's 11.5 to 1.
So you're still running that on a normal pump fuel?
93 octane.
And what sort of power are you getting out of it?
We're getting about 700 to the flywheel.
Wow, it's a serious amount of power as well. What is your engine management solution? How are you actually controlling the engine?
We're using a GM-based, GM Performance computer and harness that they sell, and we're tuning it with HB tuners. I have another shop that I work with, West Bend Dyno Tuning, and they use HB tuners exclusively on a lot of the GM stuff, and we tune it on their two-wheel drive dyno. It works out great. You get everything dialed in 100%.
Now, that GM Performance ECU that you talk about, these LS swaps are so common these days, and GM Performance are making things really easy. So basically this is a package you can buy specifically for an engine swap with a harness and with an ECU that you can then program with a number of the aftermarket packages we've got, correct?
Correct, yeah. It comes with the harness, the computer, a MAF sensor, oxygen sensors, the pedal assembly, so you got your drive-by-wire pedal if that's the system you go with. All the relays and fuses that are required. It's a really complete package, and the pricing point on it is actually really good too.
Have you retained the drive-by-wire throttle?
Yes, I did.
The other thing I wanted to talk to you a little bit about was the fuel system on the car. What are you running there?
What we have is we got a stainless gas tank made by Rick's Tanks, but we use what they call a vapor work system, and it's got two separate pickup points on each corner that are baffled around. And then it uses a ZL1 GM fuel pump assembly, which is capable of quite a high horsepower level. And being that our car is naturally aspirated, it's plenty of fuel pump. And I can run this thing just about to empty and not starve it for fuel.
Now, just to go back a little bit as well, when you said you've got the GM Performance package and you said that came with the MAF sensor or the airflow meter for the engine, are you running it with the MAF sensor, or have you gone to a speed density system?
We're using the MAF sensor. Speed density is all right to use, but we do like to tune with the MAF sensor. It just helps with, I mean, these are street cars, helps with drivability and just everyday kind of use. The responsive is so much cleaner.
And with a combination like this, it's a fairly extreme engine, and it's obviously an engine swap into an older chassis. Over here in the US, your emissions laws are pretty strict. Have you got any trouble getting a combination like this to meet emission standards?
No, usually we go and judge things by the areas that we have to worry about. Every state has their own emission standards that they have to keep. Fortunately, where I live and this car is built, it falls underneath a collector car part, and it doesn't have to meet any standards above 1970.
That makes life pretty easy. Now, you're also entered this weekend in the Ultimate Street Car Challenge, and that's pretty interesting. I mean, you've got a car that's totally show car quality, but obviously you beat up on this thing pretty hard. Tell us what the Street Car Challenge is all about.
The Ultimate Street Car Challenge is something that Optima Batteries and Johnson Controls put together to basically seek out cars like this that are sitting on the SEMA floor that are known as being trailer queens. And they want these cars to come out, all these cool parts on these, performance brakes, performance suspension, engines, transmissions. You know, get out there, use it. Let's see what this thing really is built for. Or is it really just a trailer queen? You know, put your money where your mouth is kind of thing. And they're wanting to find that car that the owner or the car builder just built something that's phenomenal, you know, and prove it.
I like the fact that you're not just building this car to be a trailer queen and sit in the garage. It's cool you're going to get out and use it. Now, we'll like to try and get along and have a look at the Street Car Challenge on the weekend. I thank you for taking the time to chat to us today, Randy, and we wish you all the best for the weekend.
Thank you. I enjoyed the conversation.
For online tuning courses, visit learntotune.com.